Mykonos is already expensive. Don't make it worse by making the same mistakes that I did. And so hi, my name's Mel and this is episode 1 of a travel series I like to call Mistakes I Made When Visiting. A series where I like to share all my travel fails and flops in every city, town, country that I've ever visited so that you don't make the same mistakes. And so to kick off this series, I am sharing 12 mistakes that I made when visiting Mykonos for the first time. For context, I went with my sister. We were both in our 20s and we visited in July 2023 for 4 days. And so mistake number 1 that we made was not renting a car sooner. Mykonos is not a walkable island at all, so you're going to need to rely on some form of transport, whether that's the bus, which I don't recommend, taxis, I'm gonna get into that later, or renting a car, which is obviously what we did. At first we started with taxis and then we just realized that this is not cost efficient at all, so we rented a car, and to be honest, I wish we rented a car from day one. This is the place we rented a car from. I'm not gonna lie, they don't have very good reviews, but we personally didn't have any problems with them, so do with that information what you will. We paid 70 euros a day and they didn't require a deposit, so the deposit was our driving license. We just left our driving license with them. We took the car, and when we had to return the car, they gave us our license back. Again, because of the reviews, if you don't want to rent with them, you can actually rent with this company instead. They have much better reviews and they're right next to the company that I just mentioned. So yeah, had we rented a car from day one, we would have saved ourselves a lot of money and a lot of hassle. And that brings me on to mistake number 2. Thinking that taxis in Mykonos were going to be affordable because the journey was short. Rookie mistake. It doesn't matter where you're going. It doesn't matter if the journey is 2 minutes or if it's 10 minutes. You're going to spend minimum 40 euros. I promise. We did not have a taxi that was cheaper than 40 euros. One way, mind you, one way. Having said that, if you do want some recommendations for taxi apps, we used iMove and Drive Me. They are both really good, but yeah, that doesn't mean you're not going to pay 40 euros minimum. You still are. Mistake number 3, this is going to be my last point about transportation, but I'm not going to lie, this is the area where we made the most mistakes on our trip to Mykonos, and that was not looking at the map before we booked a taxi. Let me explain. Mykonos is a small island and a lot of the areas are pedestrianized, meaning that cars cannot go there. We would book a taxi, we would say, yep, we want to go to this restaurant in the old town, and the driver would accept our ride and take us only so far. And that is because cars aren't allowed to enter in those areas. They don't care that you don't understand how the island works. They don't care that you didn't do your research and look at the map and see that that's somewhere where you can't take a taxi to. You're still gonna pay them. And so we had been bitten because we didn't look at the map. We paid, I think, 50 euros for probably a 6-minute journey.
So we don't have the capacity.
Mistake number 4, going to Santana Beach Club. Now this is obviously my personal opinion. I know a lot of people that went and said they enjoyed it. I personally did not enjoy it. We paid 100 euros each for a sunbed lounger. 20 euros of that is for the actual lounger, and then the remaining 80 is a minimum spend that you have to spend on food and drink. And I just don't think it was very good value for money. I think the beach club itself is stunning, like really pretty. It's very big as well, so a lot of people are there. I just didn't really feel the beach club vibe. I think it's quite confused in what it wants to be. Also say I don't think the staff were very friendly. They kind of seemed to rush us a lot, which I didn't really enjoy. Also, when I did my research about this beach club, and the reason why I wanted to go is because they said the music is R&B, hip hop, which is more to our style. I don't think I heard one R&B or hip hop song. It was pretty much kind of club, beach club music, which is fine, but not really what I was expecting and not what I was looking for either. I just think the vibe, the crowd, the staff, everything was just kind of off. I wouldn't go back and I wouldn't recommend. I think there's way better beach clubs in Mykonos. This links nicely into mistake number 5, which is not checking your bill before you pay. So this actually happened to us at Santana Beach Club, and I've also heard many stories of it happening to other people in Mykonos. But on this particular occasion, they added 2 extra portions of fries when we only ordered 1. I'm really glad we noticed. You may think it's only fries, but fries in Mykonos are a substantial amount. It's not the same as fries anywhere else. When we noticed, we told them, and they were kind of reluctant to remove it from the bill, which was crazy because we said we didn't order this. And they kind of just dismissed it and said, oh, well, it's fine. No, it's not fine. Take it off the bill. So yeah, I highly recommend that you revise your bill before paying, because if it does say 10 million, you probably did spend 10 million, but just make sure you're not paying for 10 million and 1, okay? Mistake number 6 is not booking accommodation early enough in the year, especially when visiting in peak season. Of course, we visited Mykonos in July, which is obviously peak season, and we started looking for our accommodation in January. Please tell me why it was saying 90% of stays are already booked out for your dates. I thought we were ahead of the game. Apparently not. We actually ended up staying in this lovely place that we managed to find, and it wasn't too expensive at all, so I highly recommend if you're visiting Mykonos. Mistake number 7 was not bringing some sort of jumper, cardigan, shawl, anything that could keep you somewhat warm. Now I'm sure you're thinking, why would I need something to keep me warm in the middle of July? Don't be fooled, okay? You may have heard this, but Mykonos is very windy, and it's not, no, it's storm wind. Like, whilst the evenings are warm, they can get quite breezy, and sometimes I just wish I had something light to cover my shoulders and my arms. I'm not telling you to bring a jacket, but just something that can kind of keep you a little bit cozy when the wind is winding. Mistake number 8 was thinking that we can just have a regular beach day. What I mean by that is, you go on holiday, you take your towel, you think you're just gonna go to the beach, lay your towel and just relax. That's not really a thing in Mykonos. Yes, it's possible, but it's not as seamless and carefree. It actually requires a lot of planning. And that is because Mykonos is beach club central. There are beaches, but they are owned by the beach clubs. I'm not saying you can't find an actual beach, but it just requires a bit more research. It's not as easy as waking up and going to the beach and just lying down. Mistake number 9 was thinking that we had to pay entry fee for the nightclubs. We didn't. And for Mykonos, that's saying something. We actually only ended up going to 1 nightclub, and it was called Taboo. To this day, I think it is the best nightclub I've ever been to. Not just in Mykonos, I mean in the whole world. It's not fancy, it's not even very big, but it had the type of music that I liked. Everyone in there was just on the same vibe. Everyone was dancing. It was just everyone having a good time, and so I really, really enjoyed that. And the best part about it was free to get in. Men, I'm not too sure about you guys, but for we girlies, we didn't pay anything to get into the clubs. Mistake number 10 was almost listening to people who said not to visit Scorpios Beach Club. Now, if you've been looking up Mykonos, you've probably heard of Scorpios Beach Club. It's literally known around the world. It's known for being extortionate, but we actually got in for 25 euros each. So if you want to know how I did it, let me know in the comments and I will drop a tutorial. But apart from it being expensive, people just say it's overhyped, it's pretentious, it's not worth it. You also have to book months in advance to be able to get a reservation. So yeah, I've heard a lot of bad things about Scorpios Beach Club, but personally, I'm sorry, I do think it deserves the hype. There's just something about it. Everyone's just so carefree. Yes, it is extortionate. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I paid 27 euros for this cocktail. It's probably the most I've ever paid in my entire life. It's also one of the best places to watch the sunset on the island. It's a huge premises, so they have a bar, they have a lounge area, they have the beach area. There's just so many places where you can go and chill out. If I have 2 pieces of advice for you if you're going, number 1, ladies, don't wear heels. You're going to be doing a lot of walking, a lot of dancing. I just don't think it's worth it. And number 2, for both men and women, if you need the toilet, go as soon as possible because the toilet queues are insane. Don't wait until you're bursting. Make sure you go as soon as possible. Mistake number 11 was going to the airport lounge in Mykonos. As you can imagine, Mykonos airport is extremely small, meaning that the lounge is going to be quite basic. It's very underwhelming. There's a couple of snacks, some breadsticks, a couple of places to sit. Don't waste your money. If you get lounge passes for free, fair enough, go ahead, but definitely don't use your own money to go there because it's not worth it. And my final mistake number 12, ordering too much food when you go to the restaurants. Now, we had some amazing food in Mykonos. We went to this restaurant called Apagio, and it's actually one of my favorite restaurants that I visited in the whole world now. That's how good it was. Look at this seafood pasta, okay? It was for two, to be fair, but even between two people, we could not finish this because we had ordered starters that were huge as well. Now, don't get me wrong, I am a big eater. I have a huge appetite, but even for me, I think we ordered way too much food in Mykonos. Don't waste your money. I know you may think you're hungry, but I promise you the portions that are coming are humongous. Also, if you're looking for another restaurant recommendation that I loved, I also love this restaurant called Castro's. It's very popular, whereas Apagio's is very unknown. And of course, be sure to visit the tavernas, which are the local restaurants. Unfortunately, we didn't get to visit any, but they looked amazing, so definitely add it to your list. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this first episode of Mistakes I Made When Visiting Mykonos edition. And I really hope you learned from these 12 mistakes I made, and please do not make the same. Let me know in the comments which mistakes you found helpful, and let me know if you have any other questions about Mykonos. Episode 2 of Mistakes I Made When Visiting will be Albania. So be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a post. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!